I was at one time I was trying to set up a team of horses I could sell to California, to the Hollywood. I wanted a chariot horse is what I was trying to do. So I get one, and it was come noon, and I decided, well, let's go get a hamburger. So we all went and got a hamburger. I come back, I looked in the ring, and there was the prettiest spots on this little mule. I thought, damn, that's a little mule baby. And they were bidding. I just stuck up my hand, and it grew real quiet. Nobody else said nothing. So they running down there, and they run into my horse I bought.
Was that Spot? No.
Yeah, Spot.
It was Spot? Okay.
So I got that thing out there and the house, and I was looking at it, and the damn thing was still a stud. And I thought, oh Lord, that ain't gonna work. So I went out there and I caught him as he come out the trailer. I tripped him, threw him down, and I cut him. And we were barbecuing, and I decided I'd just barbecue that are real good.
Why not?
I just barbecued the testicles, and he was standing out there bleeding, watching me. So that might have had something to do with his attitude in
Are
life.
you really telling this story?
I just had to clarify. She's like, wait, what happened? I said, he cut his nuts off and now they're grilling them. She goes, got it.
So anyway,
Wait, hang on.
I take him out to the house.
When Justin first went over to your house or something like that, you had horse balls.
You had cut the young mules that we now have, Reimer and his
Oh yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah.
And I had forgot that they were in the fridge, and I ate some stroganoff at your house the next day, and I said, man, that is awesome. And you were like, yeah.
So anyway,
It's like chicken.
Oysters, man.
so I took the darn mule, and I put him out the house. Forgot about him, and I had this colt. Oh man, he was the prettiest little old gray. He was out of running blood, and I thought, boy, I'm gonna run him. And I looked out the window, and here's this damn mule biting his front legs. Well, that on a running horse, that's what's important, the front right there. He's down there, and I went, ah! I got mad, and I thought I'll shoot him, and I didn't have a gun. So I went on out, and I caught the damn thing, and I thought, well, I can't kill him here because that smell and be nasty. I thought, well, I load him back to the truck. I dumped him in the back of the truck, my pickup, no side, nothing, just back there. I thought I'd throw that son of a bitch out as I go down the hill. I went down the hill so fast, and man, he got scared. He braced himself. I hit the highway, and a big old truck come by, and oh man, he got down like that. And I thought, well, that didn't work. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll take him down to Dixon, sell him. So I will go down to Dixon. That's a big bar, bunch of bars. And I'll think, well, I'll go into this bar here. This will be good. You have a beer, and I'll settle down because I was still mad. And so I go in there, and I'm sitting there drinking beer, and the guy walks in. He says, you wouldn't believe it, cowboy. There's a guy got a mule. And I said, that's mine. You need him. And I said, I'll sell him. And I said, well, let's look at him. Went out there, and they said, you can't tell anything. We got to get him out. We can't tell him that. I said, all right. So I get him out, and everybody's drunk there. And they said, here, I'll buy him a beer. And I said, all right. And I'd get him like that, hold his head, and I'd put the beer, and he drank the beer. And I'd give him a chew. I had to give him a snuff. So everybody had to buy him a beer. And finally they said, well, let's take him into the bar. So we took him into the bar, and everybody got a kick.
We're talking about the donkey in the bar now.
Yeah.
It's not a donkey. Talking about the mule in the bar.
So anyway,
Even a donkey would have been accepted. I'm just saying.
so we got
Yes,
it.
the bar wasn't the drunk guy.
So I got him in the bar, and I had a few beers. He had a few more. We had a lot of beers. We hit every bar up and down Dixon. Went into every one of them. One guy, we went in there, and he just sat there looking at me. I made the mule, turned him loose, and I made him come back, because he was drunk. So finally, I'll go back up there, and I'm laughing. And I said, man, I got to go get something to eat. And there was a bar called Muley's. And I said, I think I'm going to go eat something. I think I'll run out to Muley's. And there's this college professor. He's sitting there. And he says, well, I haven't eaten either. I'll go with you. And I said, fine. So we go out. We load up in the truck. And He looks at me and he says, I took off, you know, that mule's back there.
And now
He
the
says,
mule's drunk. I mean,
yeah, we're all drunk. So, and we, he says, man, he says, this doesn't look safe. And I said, well, it's not safe. He says, what happens if, what happens if the cops pull us over? And I said, well, if they pull us over, you just get out and walk off. They'll never figure it out. So it didn't, nothing happened. We pulled up the muleys. We got the muleys, and I was out back there stomping around. And I got to staring around, you know, trying to get the mule out. And the guy come out there and he says, what do you think you're going to do? And I said, I'm fixing to take that mule in there unless you can whip my ass. And he said, he didn't take about 2 minutes and the cops were there. Man, the cops are looking us over, boy. Well, meanwhile, the professor, there's a big fence in the back. He goes out there and he crawls over the fence. I see him crawling over the fence to get away.
I didn't want to be so
What professor was it?
So,
What professor was it? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I think it was a math professor or something. I can't remember.
A math.
And he says, the cop says, Mr. Combs, you're drunk. We're going to have to take you in. I said, I know it. I'm drunk. And damn mule's drunk. And he looked at that and he goes, so he goes back up, gets on his radio. It finally comes back out and he says, Mr. Combs, would you just go home?
We don't want to deal with your ass.
And your ass.
And your ass.
That was the
The
issue.
problem is, he's like, we always have to deal with the drunk mule. Now what?
So,
Not only they get dirty,
animal
they get
control is
That's a
just
lot
not
of
set up for
different
this
paperwork.
situation.
layers. There are layers here.
so anyway, I said, fine, you know, so I get my rig and I thought, oh, damn idiot professor. There's a bunch of crossroads back to that place. So I thought, shit, I'll go get him. So I pull up there, you know, and I'm honking and looking around. I look behind me and the damn cops right there and I'm drunk and I just went on home. Well, about a couple of days, I went back up to that bar, Roger's bar, Roger's Rec, and I said, walked in, I sat down. They were talking, you know, and they said something, and I said, well, what do you mean? He says, you haven't seen the paper? I said, no. He stepped aside, and they had it taped up on the back of it, and the paper, I looked at the paper, and it said, man brings mule to town and makes many business stops.
He's an
So-
industrious fellow, he was.
So,
Ahead of his time.
so finally, I see the professor and I go, hey. He looked at me and says, oh no, not you.
I need to write that story.
So I got to tell you, I got a job. I was checking gas wells. See,
Checking what?
gas wells, natural gas. And it required me to go down these canyons and, I mean, all the places you can imagine. What?
Down here.
49, so where the interstate now is, like all in there with just
Here in Arkansas.
Yeah, 'cause I used to ride around.
Yeah. It wasn't Winslow.
Oh, you won.
So I'm driving down the road, you know, and I got this mule. I had a trucker radio, a CD, and see whatever it is. And I'm driving down the road. This mule, this old boy that I'd check his well, and he always loved that mule. And he had grew corn, big old ears of corn like that, you know. And he'd bring a couple of ears of corn, he'd throw it in a spare tire in the back of my truck, you know. And he was riding back there with that spare tire doing the two-step. And that mule, boy, he just crunch, you know, bite that off the ear. And I didn't think anything about it. And I get in the truck, it's wintertime, cold, slick, and I'm doing 80 down the damn road. And this trucker pulls up behind me. He's going to pass me, and he went, ooh, and dropped back. And I heard him on the CD, he goes, hey, Jake, pull up here. You won't believe this. And the guy pulled up, and I went, what the hell is wrong with him? I looked back, and that damn mule was on his knees. The back bumper, one of those ears of corn, had caught in the back bumper, and he was on his knees getting that damn corn. I'm doing 80 mile an hour down the damn road.
I remember that mule. I do.
Oh, I'll tell you
It was
what.
a little tiny guy.
Oh, he was,
White and brown spotted.
oh yeah, he was.
But, okay,
So,
I have,
well,
We may have to go ahead and.
well, I ended up, I went on a vacation, and my ex-wife decided she's gonna sell everything. So she loads up old Spot and takes him to a guy that's trying to buy it. He gets loose. You can't catch him. This guy said, "I bet he's pretty cheap now." And she said, "Yes, he is." So he ends up with this guy. This guy buys him, and he takes him to Colorado elk hunting. He gets loose. He can't catch him. He finally shot him to get his saddle off.
Oh, you had to end it like that. I have another Jerry story.
It's not.